Welcome back to another Disney Vacation Club discussion. I feel like it's been so long since we've talked DVC, but it's the perfect time for it because Welcome Home Weeks recently kicked off not only here at the Walt Disney World Resort, but also at Disneyland, Aulani, Hilton Head, and Vero Beach. And I want to talk to you a little bit about this celebration, this limited time celebration for Disney Vacation Club members, in case you happen to be in the area of any of these resorts and you want to take part in some of what they're offering. Before we kick things off though, I just want to start by saying that we're going to focus most of our attention on what's going on here at the Walt Disney World Resort, but again, there are things happening elsewhere as well. If you want to know about what's happening at other locations, again, Disneyland, Aulani, Hilton Head, or Vero Beach, check the description box. I'll put a link to Welcome Home Weeks there and you can find out all about what's going on. It's also worth checking out if you're here at the Walt Disney World Resort because there are a lot of details to go through. There are a lot of eligibility requirements, so make sure that you don't miss anything. Check that link. But anyway, let's get into this discussion because there is so much to talk about. So you may have heard about Welcome Home Weeks before. We talked about it the other day when we were at Hollywood Studios, but it also happened last year. I want to say that that was the first time they did Welcome Home Weeks. And in a nutshell, it's a couple weeks where Disney Vacation Club members have access to some extra perks, benefits, happenings. There's a lot going on, like I said. This year, it's running from now until September 16th, 2025, and there are things happening all over the place. But there's a catch with Welcome Home Weeks, and it's not necessarily the catch that you might be expecting. So as a Disney Vacation Club member, you probably know that there are basically two categories of members. There are members who are eligible for membership extras, and then there are members who are not. If you're not eligible for membership extras, it's important to note that, like is the case with most other extras, you're not going to be able to take advantage of almost anything that's happening during Welcome Home Weeks. There is one potential exception, but we'll get into that here in a bit. But here's the catch. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. Even if you are a member who's eligible for membership extras, there are a lot of things happening during Welcome Home Weeks that you're not necessarily eligible to participate in either. Again, we'll get more into that as we go through our discussion today. And you know what, let's jump right in. Before we do though, I do want to mention if you're here, maybe you are interested in Disney Vacation Club, but you're not entirely sure where to start or you have a lot of questions. We're not going to get into any specifics on being a DVC member or anything like that today, but we have talked about that stuff in the past. Of course, you can always search our channel for DVC related topics. You'll find a ton of stuff, but I'll also put some links in the description box down below. That might be a good place to start. Anyway, so let's jump into the offerings that again are happening here at the Walt Disney World Resort. The first thing listed on the website, and probably the thing that most Disney Vacation Club members will be able to take advantage of, is called the Suite Stop. These suite stops are going to be available at all 4 theme parks, as well as Disney Springs and Disney Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa. But if you want to take advantage of this, pencil it in because every location has a different schedule. So it'll be available during specific hours, only on certain days of the week. Now, looking at the website, there are currently no eligibility requirements or limitations listed for this specific benefit. And since that is listed for pretty much every other perk, my guess is that every Disney Vacation Club member can take advantage of this. But manage your expectations because they could change their mind, and that might just be a mistake on the website. Next, we have the Welcome Home Wake Up happening at Bailey Tower and Wilderness Lodge. Now, this is going to be your opportunity to mingle with fellow Disney Vacation Club members over a cup of coffee. I think that this is great. I love having the chance to talk to other DVC members, swap stories, hear how they use their membership, the pros and cons of their home resort. I know that this type of social event isn't going to be for everyone, but I do think that this can be really beneficial, especially if you are new to DVC or you're thinking about expanding beyond the contracts that you currently have. Unfortunately, this perk, this happening for Welcome Home Weeks, is very specific when it comes to eligibility requirements. So in order to participate, you not only have to be eligible for membership extras, but you have to be staying at the resort in question on the day that this is taking place, which means if you're not staying at Bailey Tower or Wilderness Lodge, which includes Copper Creek and Boulder Ridge, you're out of luck for this one. Now, honestly, I'm a little surprised that this is only happening at these 2 places and isn't extended out to Disney Vacation Club members who aren't staying at these resorts on these specific dates. Not only because coffee is cheap, and there are gathering spaces where this could take place at pretty much every Disney Vacation Club resort, but also because when you get DVC members together chatting about membership and the right number of points and the type of rooms that they use to do types of stays that they've done, it honestly drums up sales. It gets DVC members excited about adding on. So, missed opportunity, at least in my opinion. Then again, we could have a discussion about how Disney Vacation Club is kind of moving away from legacy members. I know some of you feel that way. I feel that way as well, but that's a discussion for another day. Now, moving on to something that, again, more Disney Vacation Club members can take advantage of. There is a 40% discount on table service dining happening during Welcome Home Weeks. This is actually something that I mentioned when we were talking about Welcome Home Weeks the other day over at Hollywood Studios. Now, this is available at a select number of restaurants. It's not available everywhere, and it's not available for all meal times, so make sure that you're checking the list and making notes, but there are a lot of interesting places to check out on this list, and some places that honestly I think we might check out and take advantage of this discount at. Now, there are some limitations. Again, you have to be eligible for membership extras, and it only takes place from Mondays through Thursdays, so just make sure that you make note of that so you don't end up booking on a Friday and then paying full price. But I do think that this is pretty great. Of course, Disney Vacation Club members who are eligible for membership extras do get a discount on dining anyway, but this is definitely a bigger discount than you'd be getting on an average day. Now, there are also a lot of freebies being handed out to Disney Vacation Club members during Welcome Home Weeks. Of course, you can get a free button at Disney Vacation Club kiosks. That's not all that exciting. You can get free buttons all the time at DVC kiosks, but they also have a free donut available at Everglazed. They also have free popcorn if you're going to be checking out Movie Under the Stars. And at the Gateway to Discovery in Disney Springs, they have a free reusable bag for Disney Vacation Club members. So that's worth checking out if you happen to be in the area, and if you happen to like donuts. Everglazed does make a pretty mean donut, so we might have to see if we could take advantage of that perk. There are also two other perks or happenings listed on the website for Welcome Home Weeks that I'm going to mention, but no information about them is listed quite yet. The first is a screening of Disney 80s and 90s in concert. Now, I mentioned this, but it's important to note that I have no idea where this is taking place. It might happen at Disney World, it might happen at Disneyland. Literally no information is available on the website at the time that I'm sitting down and talking to you. There's also going to be an open house of the newly refreshed rooms at Disney's Wilderness Lodge. So of course that's happening here at Walt Disney World, but again, no information has been posted.
Sorry for the quick interruption. I know things are a little bit different, but I forgot to mention that there's also a character experience available at the boardwalk over in Atlantic Dance Hall. Now this is easy to access. You can get there pretty easily from Hollywood Studios, from Epcot, but it's important to note that this is, again, not going to be available to everybody. You have to have a reservation on the date of this event. Of course, you have to be eligible for membership extras, but maybe worth checking out. We've done this before. It's a lot of fun.
And finally, there's a little bit of Disney Vacation Club magic that you can enjoy at home, to include a magnet that should be sent your direction if it hasn't been sent to you already. I think I already have mine. I got it a few weeks ago, so I'm not sure if that was something that was sent out preemptively. Either way, keep an eye out for that. But there are also some downloadable wallpapers that you can enjoy. Again, you can find these at the link in the description. All right, well, that pretty much wraps up our list, at least of what's available here at Walt Disney World. Honestly, I think that it's always great that there are more perks available to Disney Vacation Club members. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Disney Vacation Club members, every year it seems like another perk has disappeared or has gone behind a paywall. And this has happened to way too many perks over the years. So the fact that something is being added to the list, I think, is great. But still, there's no getting around the fact that Welcome Home Weeks, it excludes a ton of Disney Vacation Club members, and honestly, it's kind of overcomplicated. And I dare to say, needlessly so. And for me, as someone who's been paying attention to the way that Disney does things over the years, this just kind of feels like Disney's way of making it difficult for Disney Vacation Club members to participate in so that they can justify not doing this in the future, which is too bad, because even though these offerings available during Welcome Home Weeks, they're not perfect, and like I said, they're overcomplicated, I do want to see them return and I want to see them improve over the years. And that's why I'm going to try and take advantage of as many of these as I can, and I encourage you to do the same if you happen to be in this area. You know, I feel like sometimes that's the only way we can show Disney that we like this stuff, we want this stuff, and we want to see more of it. But let me know your thoughts. How do you feel about Welcome Home Weeks? Are you going to be able to take advantage of Welcome Home Weeks if you happen to be here at Walt Disney World, over in Disneyland, or at any of the other Disney Vacation Club resorts around the country? I want to hear what you're most excited about, what you're least excited about. How do you feel about all of this? You know, just in general. Tell me about it in a comment down below. But yeah, I think that's about all there is to say. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope that this was a great way to start your day. I enjoyed sitting with you, starting my day out here in the lovely weather, chatting about DVC. But I think it's time for me to get my day started. So, what do you say? Take a final sip of coffee and then we'll head out? Sounds good. Have a great day, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Until then.